All praises, glory, and honor to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi Rakakadash.
Luxembourg. Swollen rivers, including the Rhine, the Meuse, and the Aar, have swept through towns and villages, destroying homes, leaving many stranded. In Erfstadt, in Germany, whole houses have been submerged, and a landslide has demolished parts of the town.
The ground just fell away. This is the town of Erfstadt, where overnight houses collapsed as the water gushed in. Another shock for a country reeling from the enormity of its loss. It happened so fast, one official said, there was no time for a warning. Rescuers rushed in. But this morning, the authorities here said people trapped in their homes were calling them for help, and in many cases, they just couldn't reach. And with every hour, news of more deaths. People are still missing. With mobile networks down, it's hard to know how many made it to safety. They're desperate for help here.
Is submerged. Parts of Liège annihilated by the elements. In the Netherlands, this was Roermond. Swathes of the city have disappeared. This region has been declared a disaster zone.
There was the dramatic heat wave in Canada and the western United States last month, and Russia, Mexico and New Zealand have all been experiencing unusually high temperatures.
Ma sœur. Et en plus de ça, on nous a annoncé que les maisons pouvaient s'écrouler. Chase them down with guns. There's also a lot of confusion on who's coming out to loot and who's not. This has led to several locals getting caught in the fire.
Now the police were shooting at us. I eventually had to hide in the toilet over there. I'm here to get things from my home. Here, all of this. This is better than grabbing alcohol, which you can finish in a day.
In another part of the city, in Durban, long queues have emerged outside shopping centres, with most of them having been looted bare, shortages loom. Food security is becoming a big concern. People are buying whatever they can get their hands on. Today,
felt that they need to defend their areas, to defend their assets, and we welcome the fact that ordinary citizens are working together with the security forces, are standing up not only to defend their own assets, but they're also defending our democracy, because they can see that this is an assault on the democratic situation that we have in our country. So they are
the police, the law enforcement agencies, and they use their influence.
And the death toll is now up to at least 72. This comes after former President Jacob Zuma was sent to jail. Deborah Pata is in a suburb of Johannesburg, which has seen some of the most violent disturbances. Deborah, good morning.
Hordes of looters stormed hundreds of retail stores in South Africa, grabbing anything they could get their hands on. Outnumbered and overwhelmed, police struggled to contain the violence.
Police fire rubber bullets, tear gas, but the looters are undeterred. There's not one shop here that hasn't been attacked and completely ransacked.
Dozens are dead. This man was injured in the mayhem. Nobody stopped to help him. And in one heart-stopping moment, this toddler was rescued from a building set ablaze by rioters. The violence his supporters took to the streets, but it has now boiled over into a narcotic rage fueled by persistent poverty that's been exacerbated by a deadly third wave of the COVID pandemic. But for the shop owners, victims of that rage, it was all too much. Over 1,000 arrests have been made, and now for 5 straight days that peace has been shattered in the deadliest violence this country has seen in the more than 27 years since apartheid.
Yeah, there is a food shortage issue. It's not just the shops that are being looted and burnt. I think we've got some footage to roll, but factories, warehouses, the trucks delivering stock. So it is absolute chaos and mayhem. The violence has been at an astonishing level. Dozens of people have died, and now there is a food shortage issue and homes are being attacked. And we had the Indian community in South Africa who were targeted arm themselves and protect their own community because the police are nowhere to be found. They're going to be deploying 25,000 troops to try to restore order. It is chaos over there, and it's just so sad what's become of South Africa. And of course, South Africa has had some of the harshest and most irrational restrictions. They had restrictions on open-toed shoes during the COVID crisis, but this...
There was no room on the road which wraps itself around the port of Durban. It had been turned into a thoroughfare for raiders and thieves as they ransacked warehouses and distribution centres located close to the shipping terminal. The young and the old took advantage, with people on foot, joined by those in pickup trucks who'd come to steal in bulk. And the police and the country's military, well, they were nowhere to be seen. Why are people doing this? Why are people doing it? The train tracks were used as a form of escape by those lugging stolen goods, although many tried to avoid our camera.
Hungry, yeah.
You're hungry? It was a sentiment expressed by many. Why are people looting? No food, no nothing, no work, he said. But you can't eat a bicycle. I can, he responded. The trouble was triggered by the arrest of the former president, Jacob Zuma, last week. But it has been fueled by frustration in a country where millions are struggling in the midst of the pandemic. The authorities have made nearly 2,000 arrests nationwide, but they are not in control. On the River Horse Industrial Estate, the police unit fired tear gas and rubber bullets in an attempt to clear the park. The police are outnumbered and bewildered, and some are growing angry. As they race to another call, we saw one officer firing his weapon at people on the roadside at point-blank range. Roadblocks have been erected to intercept the looters, but they will not stop this disorder, for the authorities lack basic resources, while millions of people cannot meet their basic needs. In a crisis that threatens South Africa, ordinary people have chosen to steal. The implications seem unmanageable. John Sparks.
It was rush hour when the water quickly inundated highway number 265 near Erfstadt, catching unexpected drivers and passengers by surprise. Soldiers and rescue workers tried to reach trapped cars, finding out if everyone made it out in time.
We hope that they made it out of their cars, but we are not sure. And we can't guarantee that there are perhaps people in the cars. We could not check.
And this help that has been promised should also be for the communities who in the next days and weeks won't only have to clear up the damage, but will also have to rebuild everything, the roads that are destroyed, the bridges that have been swept away. And that is why it is good that such support has been agreed.
Many lives have been lost, people are still missing, and then these scenes of devastation of infrastructure, roads, bridges, houses, all completely destroyed. How do you explain the intensity of what we've seen?
Well, of course, the impact is just horrendous. I had never expected to have that many casualties in an event so close by a flooding event. And we have a collaboration called World Weather Attribution, and we aim to find the connection to climate change to these kinds of extreme events on relatively short timescales. And we just finished the heat in the Northwest and Northern America like a week ago, but we will probably decide tomorrow to take this on as well because it's just so big down in extreme showers like these. But there are other indirect effects, like there's also evidence that the jet stream is slowing down in the summer, and hence the depressions don't move so quickly and can dump more rain on the same place, basically because they're just staying there for longer and the rain lasts for longer and you get more water down. And there are other effects, like in Colorado, there's more chance of high pressure and hence you have less chance of rain. And we have to take all of these effects into account before we can say how much this was due to climate change.
Are there certain trends in place, though, that are difficult to reverse now? If, for example, human activity was to suddenly change?